But yeah, no, I just wanted to take this second to talk about, a few things that have been on my mind, on my heart, because I'm seeing my name get tossed around in so many speculations and rumors. Look, it's just me who runs my social handles. I don't have a big marketing team. I don't have a big social media team, and I probably do need one eventually, right? But right now, I don't have one. So whenever people are discussing what I'm doing with my life or my career, my circle is very, very small. It is not big at all. Now, I had to get rid of some people that were in my circle that, they could be bought. Like, they could be bought, or their voice could be bought. I won't say they can be bought, but they could be bought. Like, so people were selling information. And that happens all the time in the entertainment industry. If you're unaware, within this professional sports space of entertainment or entertainment industry or the entertainment business, whatever it is, like, you have to move a certain type of way. I'm 31 years old now. I do not have the same level of thinking I had when I was in my 20s. But in this entertainment space, you can get trapped within narratives that people share about you. Right. And that's never my focus now. But I have to be aware that there's a lot of influence that happens from the media. And in regards to what I'm doing with my career and my life, I hold it very sacred to me. So I'm never just going to share information with just anybody, is what I'm saying. Like, if you hear something about my career, it's going to happen direct like this. If you hear something about what I'm doing with, me being a free agent and within the shoe industry, it's going to come from me. I am an independent entrepreneur. I'm not signed to no big agency or any big agency. I'm not signed to any big marketing agency. It's just me. Like, you guys got to understand that I changed up my whole entire business strategy over the last few years because of the reality of dealing with, things that I've had to learn through, and dealing with real life circumstances that, to be honest with you, it changed the way I viewed a lot of different people that I looked up to. You know what I mean? A lot of elders, a lot of OGs that over the last few years, like, I reached out to them for help. And a lot of them didn't even, they don't really fuck with me like that. And it's not that I'm mad at it. It's just that when I'm curious and I want to learn new things, and I'm trying to learn from my mistakes or learn from my lessons, I'm reaching out to people that are older than me, that have more experience in different spaces. And, that, like, my generation, we're just different. And we do things a little bit differently than the generation that came before me and the generation that came before them. But long story short, I'm saying I'm handling things the best way I know how, and that's very peacefully, that's very spiritually grounded. And it just being aware of timing, you know what I mean? Like, I can't answer all the questions that people have about me, but what I can control is the decision making that I have for myself. So I just wanted to clear some things up. Like, I'm a free agent this summer, but I am in no rush to make a decision. And the speculation around my name from all these individuals that get on TV and have these personalities. What's up, babe? I'm on live here. Just give me 1 second, I'll be out there. All these people that have, these platforms. And I'm talking about the TV personalities, the sports folk that try to mix sports with politics and lifestyle and shit like that. Like, when they speak on my name and they're talking about potential teams that I'm going to, can y'all please, I respectfully, like, I'm asking you, please stop paying attention to that. Like, I am in no rush to make a decision. I know what's ahead of me for the rest of my career in terms of what I can control, skill level wise, drive wise, motivation. But I have a big picture in my mind of what I'm building for not just my basketball career, but for my life. God has a plan for me. However you describe your own God, I'm sure they have a plan for you. But God has a plan for me. And it requires me to be more aware of the decisions that I'm making and being more responsible. Like, I had to learn from that. But I wanted to talk about this social media aspect, because don't let this shit mess with how you view other people. Like, you guys barely know me in a 24-hour-a-day basis, but social media make it seem like you know who I am. stop mentioning me on Twitters. All y'all fan bases, stop mentioning me right now, please. It is still the Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals. Denver's going to the finals. We're still waiting for Boston and Miami. Can y'all please leave me out of this? Please, can I just be with my family in peace? Y'all got people at my dinner table discussing what my free agency plans are. Stop that. Y'all think it's funny? Please stop that. I actually like having peace of mind when I'm at the crib, all right? I see all y'all ads, I see all y'all mentions, okay, I said it. I see all y'all stuff y'all be saying, I see all y'all fan base, I get it. I'm just as excited as y'all are, but you gotta chill, though. Come on, we can have some fun with it, but the love is already there, right? The message is spread. I appreciate your ancestral run. Thank you for being tapped in.
The Lakers, after having 50 games of being a 12th place team, had 20 games plus a really impressive playoff run of being a legitimate contender. And so that's a contending team that they have there. But if you're LeBron James, you may want an upgrade to this team and may not want the team to stand pat and may want to apply a little bit of pressure to the team. Now, I'm not saying that these comments necessarily direct to that, but I will say LeBron does have a pretty long history of being a little bit passive-aggressive with team decisions. So I just think that when you look at his comments and you look at the Lakers situation, you just need to take that into account, what's actually happening.
Let's keep it simple. If LeBron comes back, let's assume he comes back. LeBron, AD, and Reeves are going to be on the team. They are going to bring back Austin Reeves, sure, whatever the cost. Then the choice becomes a very simple one. It's really Rui Hachimura or the $30 million plus of cap room that Brian talked about, which, by the way, is not max cap room. That's well short of Kyrie Irving's max. So it's short of Fred VanVleet's max, if that's a name they want to pursue. So there's some negotiations to be had there. D'Angelo Russell will see, to me, Rui Hachimura clearly passed him in the important hierarchy for the Lakers going forward. And so that's the choice. If you get wind that a star or all-star wants to come, it's really Hachimura or that guy. And that's a choice that LeBron will surely have an opinion about. Sure. And if LeBron doesn't come back, you just have a whole other series of questions.
I mean, the big name, when we talk about adding a star, is Kyrie. And I don't think it's coincidence that he planted himself there courtside last night, right? And was able to be seen on camera so much. I mean, is that the road they should be going down?
I think you explore everything. Ultimately, at this point, whether Pelinka and those guys want to admit it or not, if you are trying to maximize whatever LeBron has left in the tank, then you are definitely going to hear him out on who he potentially wants to play with. And obviously, these two have been successful before. I think in the time that they have been apart from one another, Kyrie obviously has had the opportunity to see just how heavy the crown is, so to speak, as a number one or two guy, whichever you want to say, depending on which team you refer to. So I think he's still a competitor. There's no questions about his game. The questions are never about Kyrie's game. And so if LeBron is the guy that can get him back on the court at 100% focus, I mean, if it's as simple, and Zach, I know it's probably not as simple, but if you put Kyrie on that roster and in exchange for D'Angelo Russell, I still don't know if that team beats this Nuggets group, but that is a team to me that can contend.
The idea, he's talking about, I'm not satisfied getting to conference finals. The idea is to make the Lakers, if he's coming back, a championship contender, a team that can get past Denver.
Because that's all he's really, what else is there to come back for? To win championships. And that's really been LeBron throughout his whole career as well. When he's in a situation and he sees we've maxed out, he generally will go somewhere else, right? Or he will try to make changes as changes can be made. It's funny, Monica used the word as simple as it would be to get Kyrie. There's nothing simple about bringing in Kyrie Irving. Let's be honest, at this point, and everything that is going on with him going there. The Lakers finally became a team that all the drama kind of quieted. They became a stable franchise. And the one thing that Rob Pelinka has talked a lot about, Zach, I know you know this better than anybody, is stability, right? Consistency, stability. If this group had played a whole season together, what could they have developed into? And now you're looking to just rip it up for a player. Yes, LeBron James is one of the greatest players of all time, and he still can play at a high level. But he's going to be 39 years old, pushing 40 next year. Are we ripping this up and doubling down on a future to try to win one more championship with him? Is that the right move for this franchise, knowing, like we just said, I don't know if he can do it for 40 minutes a night 5 to 7 games a series for 4 series at where he is right now.
The question is, what are you really ripping up?
Yeah,
because
that's where I was.
D'Angelo Russell kind of faded from prominence for this series. Malik Beasley didn't even play. And if the choice is Hachimura or a star, whoever the star is, I think that's a really serious discussion that you have to have because this team is really good. This was not a fluke. They became a team that made sense and a real threat to win the West. And then you look at the West, it's kind of a conference in chaos other than Denver and probably Phoenix, although they've got some major questions to answer. Memphis is in chaos. New Orleans is in chaos. Those teams are supposed to be the future of the Western Conference. This team could still have a window if they tweak it a little bit. When you talk about ripping it up in continuity, I'm not sure how much continuity you really sacrifice.
But you just said this is a good team. Like
but it's a good team because of LeBron, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and really like Dennis Schroeder. It's not like if the pieces you're choosing are Russell out, Hachimura out, somebody else in, like that's not a lot of continuity or sacrifice.
And the other issue is the somebody else. If you're talking about Kyrie Irving, brings other stuff besides just being a really good player, right? So you talk about, I mean,
can't ignore that.
There are questions about that, right? Wendy, what's the likelihood that they could reunite Kyrie and LeBron in LA? Is that a thing that could happen, or are we just spitballing here?
Yeah, well, I want to say 2 things that any conversation about Kyrie Irving anywhere else in Dallas has to begin with. Number one, in high likelihood, if he were to leave the Dallas Mavericks, he's looking at taking less than his max salary, okay? And that is one of the big reasons why he forced his way out of Brooklyn, was because they were not willing to pay him the salary he wanted. So you'd be talking about him making a departure from his actions in the past. The second thing I want to point out is the Lakers do have other options beyond Kyrie Irving, and not only just Fred VanVleet. Now, the reason Fred VanVleet comes up is because it's not clear whether the Raptors are going to go forward with the team that they have. They haven't picked a coach yet. They haven't necessarily picked a direction. It's possible that they could let him walk, and Fred VanVleet is represented by Rich Paul, who obviously represents LeBron and Anthony Davis. But if the Lakers open up the $30 million in cap room, they also have first-round draft picks they can trade. There's a whole bunch of other options open to them via trade that wouldn't necessarily just be Kyrie Irving.